Picture a small stretch of desert sticking out into the Arabian Gulf. For most of its history, it was known for blistering heat and pearl diving. Then, in the 1970s, they looked down and hit the jackpot. This is a view of one of the facilities tapping into the North Field. It is the single largest natural gas field on the planet. Its discovery gave this quiet fishing economy access to more wealth than most empires see in a millennium. But the geography presents a massive challenge. Qatar's landmass is about 11,500 square kilometers, roughly the size of Connecticut. This lucrative natural gas field ignores national borders, stretching directly across the maritime line and deep into the territorial waters of Iran. This leaves a tiny, hyper-wealthy population wedged squarely between Saudi Arabia and Iran, two heavily armed regional superpowers. In geopolitical terms, Qatar is a very shiny, very defenseless target, with almost zero military hardpower. To survive, Qatar had to invent a new kind of defense. They couldn't build an army large enough to fight off their neighbors, so they decided to buy so much global visibility and influence that larger countries simply couldn't afford to let them disappear. The first step to making the world care about you is making sure they can hear you. In 1996, the government launched Al Jazeera. In a region where television news consisted almost entirely of state-run press releases, Qatar funded a network that actually reported the news. The subsequent launch of Al Jazeera English put Qatari-funded perspectives into millions of Western living rooms. The network's coverage deeply irritated neighboring governments, who repeatedly and unsuccessfully demanded the station be shut down. Qatar refused. They understood that owning a global media apparatus provides a unique kind of diplomatic armor. It is difficult to quietly bully a country that owns the microphone. While news reaches diplomats, global sports reach billions of people on an emotional level. Qatar realized that infiltrating Western culture required putting their brand in front of the most loyal audiences on Earth. In 2011, Qatar Sports Investments purchased Paris Saint-Germain. They immediately began dropping hundreds of millions of euros to acquire the world's most recognizable superstars, including Neymar and Kylian Mbappé. They also moved to own the screens. By creating beIN Sports, Qatar purchased the broadcast rights for the Champions League, La Liga, Formula One, and dozens of other major properties. By controlling both the athletes on the pitch and the signal beamed into the home, Qatar successfully embedded its brand into the daily entertainment diet of the Western world. In December 2010, the global football community was stunned when FIFA announced that Qatar would host the 2022 World Cup. It was a bid that lacked stadiums, a football culture, or even survivable summer weather for the athletes. This chart shows the massive financial gap between Qatar and previous hosts. Brazil spent about $15 billion in 2014. Russia spent $14 billion in 2018. Qatar's bar rockets to an estimated $220 billion. Qatar utilized that massive budget to construct an entire country from the ground up. This $220 billion investment funded a new metro system, highways, luxury hotels, and the entire city of Lusail, using the World Cup as a hard deadline for completion. The scale of the project included a $400 million stadium built entirely of shipping containers, designed to be disassembled and removed the moment the tournament ended. This rapid construction came with a staggering human cost. Human rights organizations reported a system of migrant labor defined by exploitation and thousands of disputed deaths leading up to the opening ceremony. Despite years of intense international outrage, the tournament itself was an immense success. It ended with Lionel Messi lifting the trophy in one of the most widely watched events in human history. Qatar effectively demonstrated a cynical truth of soft power. If the spectacle you buy is entertaining enough, the world will tune in and look past the red flags. The final layer of Qatar's strategy is diplomatic indispensability. They aim to be the neutral room where every global power feels comfortable negotiating. This results in a jarring contrast. Qatar hosts the largest U.S. military airbase in the Middle East, while simultaneously providing a safe haven for the political leadership of Hamas. They have turned Doha into a global hub for impossible negotiations, hosting everything from the U.S. Taliban peace deals to sensitive hostage releases. By acting as the indispensable neutral party for bitter enemies, Qatar made itself too useful to ever be attacked. The return on this multi-billion-dollar investment is undeniable. In 30 years, Qatar transformed from a quiet peninsula into a globally recognized powerhouse that can pull the world's attention into its orbit at will. This spending is driven by a looming deadline. The natural gas reserves will eventually run out, and when the wells go dry, the cash flow stops. This is the motivation behind Vision 2030. The Qatar Investment Authority is currently using its $500 billion war chest to buy massive stakes in global corporations and real estate, like the Shard in London. Faced with a finite resource and a dangerous neighborhood, Qatar systematically purchased a permanent place on the map. This coordinated shopping spree was a calculated acquisition of a future, proving that global relevance is always for sale if you can cover the price tag.